Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 million years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids, math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang. Hey! Since the dawn of man.
Hey guys, Derek from Tap and Turn Gaming, and I'm here today with another one of our EDH Battle for Supremacy deck techs. Today's deck will be the Izzet League, and it will be led by Niv-Mizzet the Draco Genius. Now, if you follow the story at all, for his own whims and his own amusement, because he's insane, he's the one who decided to do the maze run, the dragon's maze, if you will, because he is the dragon. So he's crazy, and that pretty much follows suit through the whole Izzet League. They're mad scientists. They love the crazy shenanigans. They love to just tinker with science. They're actually pretty similar to the Simic, except the Simic like to tinker with science with life. The Izzet like to tinker with science with spells and magic. So they're very cut from the same cloth, but they're different sides of that same cloth. So yeah, tune in for the deck, watch the rest of the video, and you'll be seeing the Izzet League led by Niv-Mizzet the Draco Genius. Alright guys, so now we're going to go over the deck. The general for the deck is Niv-Mizzet Draco Genius. He is the second Niv-Mizzet from Ravnica Returned, or Return to Ravnica rather. He's a 6-cost 5/5 flying dragon wizard, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. And he has tap a red and a blue, and he deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So this is a really cool ability because you can use it to knock off creatures, or you can use it to just hit a player for 1 and draw a card off it. It's actually not really a bad trade at all, so it's actually pretty nice. So what I'm going to be going over now is the stipulation cards that we've talked about. So I run all the Izzet Legends. The other Niv-Mizzet, Niv-Mizzet the Firemind, the original one. He's a 6-cost 4/4 dragon wizard flying also. He has, whenever Niv-Mizzet the Firemind deals... sorry, I'm completely wrong. Whenever you draw a card, he deals 1 damage to target creature player, and you can tap him to draw a card. It's a really, really powerful ability because at base, every single time you draw a card, you're doing a damage to a player or knocking off a 1/1 or something, but being able to tap to draw a card is also very, very nice. Then we have Melek, Izzet Paragon, another 6-cost, 2/4. He's a weird wizard. You play with the top card of your library revealed, and you may cast the top card of your library if it's an instant or sorcery, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from the top of your library, you may copy that spell. And choose new targets for it. It's a really, really cool ability if you're running a good amount of spells, and I do run a decent amount of spells in the deck, and that's really what he's in here for, is to copy some of my game winners. Next up we have Tibor and Lumia. Tibor and Lumia are a 4-cost 3/3. Probably one of the few, maybe 3 or 4 legends that are actually two people together to make the legendary creature. You know, the other one is from Theros, the red-white legend there, but 2 people. Pretty cool ability here. Whenever you play a blue spell, target creature gains flying until end of turn. Whenever you play a red spell, Tibor and Lumia deal 1 damage to each creature without flying. So basically what you do is you cast a blue spell to give this flying, and then you cast a bunch of red spells, and you start just absolutely nailing every creature for 1 damage each. Or you play multiple blue-red spells, give all your guys flying, and kill all your opponent's creatures. Really, really good stuff. Then the next stipulation card we have here is the Izzet Charm. 2-cost instant. Choose 1. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. Or Izzet Charm deals 2 damage to target creature. Or draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. All pretty good relevant abilities. You know, you'll get what you need out of it. It's all pretty nice. Then we have the Guildmage, the Nivix Guildmage. 2-cost 2/2 human wizard. 1 a blue and a red to draw a card then discard. 2 a blue and a red to copy target instant or sorcery spell that you control, and you may choose new targets for the copy. I mostly use this for the copy part. I don't really use it for the draw card unless I have a full grip and I'm just trying to cycle for something. I'm usually not looking to discard cards, but his ability to copy spells is really what he's in here for. Then we have the original Izzet Guildmage, 2-cost 2/2 human wizard. Pay 2 and a blue, copy target instant with committed mana cost 2 or less, or pay 2 and a red to copy target sorcery that costs 2 or less, and you can choose new targets for either of the abilities. He's mostly in here for the 2 and a blue to copy target instant, so that I can copy all of my copy spells, because I pretty much run all the copy spells that you could run, and he's in here to pretty much copy those, or to copy a lot of my overload spells, because it goes by their casting cost, not their overload cost, so it's pretty cool. Then we have the other stipulation cards. We have the Signet, the Key Rune, which when you animate it is a 2/1 red elemental artifact creature. And whenever the Key Rune deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card, and if you do, discard a card. So he gives you some advantage if you want. And the Clue Stone to draw a card. And then I run the Stipulation Lands, the Steam Vents, the Izzet Guildgate, and Izzet Boilerworks. So that we have all of the stipulation cards, so you can see that they're in there. Next I'm going to go over the cards in the deck by different categories, so you can see what we have. I'm going to start with the lands, get a big bulk of the deck out of the way. So we have Halimar Depths to rearrange my top 3, pretty standard. Minamo School at Water's Edge to untap target legendary, something like a Niv-Mizzet or a Arcanis the Omnipotent. You know, a couple of my legendaries have cool abilities that I like to use again. Also, I can attack with legendary and then tap it to block. It's a nice ability. Evolving Wilds for the filter, Terramorphic Expanse for the filter, Reliquary Tower because I draw a lot of cards, and this will help me not have to discard them. Kerkeep, because being able to make blockers whenever you need them is pretty nice. Mystifying Maze is add 1 to your mana pool, pay 4, tap this, exile target attacking creature and opponent controls. At the beginning of the end step, returns to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So it's pretty cool because if someone's going to attack me with one of their guys and I don't want to take the hit, I can just exile it instead. It's unfortunate if they have a comes into play ability, but it prevents me from taking a hit if I don't want to. So it's overall beneficial. Rupture Spire for the 3-way filter. Then we have 13 islands, 11 mountains, and then we have a Swiftwater Cliffs, Shivan Reef, and a Scalding Tarn. So that pretty much mops up my lands. Not a huge amount of dual lands in this deck. It's probably one of my cheaper mana bases. But next up, I'm going to go over my artifacts. I run Illusionist Bracers because this equipment, when you put it on someone and have the ability to copy your instants and sorceries, or sorry, your abilities that they have, is awesome. So what it does is 2 to play, 3 to equip. Whenever an ability of an equipped creature is activated, if it isn't a mana ability, copy that ability and you may choose new targets for it. When I'm doing something like tapping Arcanis to draw 3 cards and instead I draw 6, or using my Guildmage to copy a spell, or paying 2 with my General to ping someone that turns into 2 damage, this really becomes a heavy hitter, and most of the time people end up destroying this as quickly as they can. And we have Umbral Mantle. Really, really nice because it's cost 3 to play, 0 to equip, which is always cool with 0 to equip. And the equipped creature has pay 3, untap it. This creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So it's a really cool ability. Again, with any one of my tapping abilities, I can turn my unused mana into extra activations, and it just ends up being really, really good. Rings of Brighthearth, 3 mana artifact. Whenever you activate an activated ability, you can pay 2. If you do, you copy the ability. This gets a lot of value out of this deck because I have a lot of activated abilities. And lastly, we have Temple Bell because I do have the Temple Bell Mind Over Matter combo to win as one of my win cons, so I will go over that later, but we have Temple Bell. I'm going to go over my enchantments now. We have Curiosity because I am that guy with Niv-Mizzet. Whenever the equipped creature deals damage, I can draw a card. Then we have Dream Halls. This is really cool because I can pitch a card to cast a card for free. Now the way that really boils down, this is a lot of text in here, so I'm going to just boil it down. If I want to cast a blue card from my hand, all I have to do is exile. Is it exile? Oh no, just discard. I'm sorry, I thought it was exile. I might have been playing this card wrong for a while, but so if I want to cast a blue card in my hand, I just discard a blue card and I can cast it for free. If it was an X card, X becomes 0. But it lets you just get tremendous value out of your cards. Then we have Mind Over Matter. I can discard a card to tap or untap an target artifact, creature, or land. So this is part of a nice combo that I'll go over a little later. And we have Omniscience or Omniscience, however you want to say it is fine with me. I don't really care, but it is really cool. 10 cost blue enchantment that I can use once this is down to cast all my spells for free. Everything I want to cast, I can cast for free. It's Really, really good. Really good. Especially if I have Dream Halls down. You know, I have Dream Halls down. I have Omniscience in my hand, or Omniscience, and I discard a blue card, play it for free. I just got a 10 mana card out on turn 5, and then I can just play the rest of my hand for free, and it's really, really nice. I'm going to go over my Planeswalkers. First up, we have Jace Beleren, 3 cost, 3 loyalty. Everybody knows Jace Beleren. I use him primarily for the target player draws a card, and I will target myself. So what I usually do is he starts at 3, I'll draw a card, he'll go to 2, I'll draw a card, he'll go to 1, then I'll make everybody draw a card so he goes back up to 3. That's pretty much how I'll do, so I get more value out of him than everybody else. And that's fine with me. Then we have Chandra the Firebrand, 4 cost, 3 loyalty. She has a +1 to deal 1 damage to a creature player, a -2 so that the next time you cast a spell you copy it, and a -6 she does 6 damage to each creature and each player. So, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. I mostly just use her. I actually pretty much exclusively use her for her -2, just to be able to copy my spells. Usually when I'm activating her, it's when I'm going to knock somebody out of the game. And that's what she's there for, copying my spells. I put Ral-Zarek in because I like him. He's a 4 cost, 4 loyalty. He has a +1 to tap target permanent and then untap another target permanent. You can actually do some pretty cool stuff with that if you use it main 2 after you've attacked. Untap one of your guys, tap down another one of theirs. You know, whatever you want to do. But he has some pretty cool abilities. And then he has Ral-Zarek, deals 3 damage to target creature player. So basically you can -2 to Lightning Bolt. It's pretty cool. And then his ultimate is -7, flip 5 coins, and you take an extra turn for each time you get the winning. For each time you flip heads. You don't have to call him. Flip 5 coins, every time you get heads you take an extra turn. Really, really cool. Because essentially, if you use that when he's at -7, you can almost build him up to be able to do it again after those 5 turns. So, you know, you can't just do it, but if you get him to, if you win all 5 flips and get 5 extra turns, you can build him back up 5 counters, and you'll be close to using his ultimate again. So it's pretty powerful. And last one we run is Tamio the Moonsage. 5 cost, 4 loyalty. She has a +1 tap target permanent, and it doesn't untap during its control's untap step. And then she has a -2. Draw a card for each tap creature target player controls. That's really nice to use after someone has alpha striked a different opponent, or even after they've alpha striked you, to just be able to draw a lot of cards. Really, really cool ability. But what I mostly use her for is her ultimate. You get an emblem with, you have no maximum hand size, and whenever a card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you may return that to your hand. That's a super, super powerful ability, because once you kick that off, your instants and sorceries just go right back to your hand. Really, really powerful. It's almost as if everything has a buyback 0. Now I'm going to go over to my sorceries. Since this is an Izzet deck, I am running quite a few of the Overload and Replicate spells, so we'll just go over my spells now. These are my sorceries. I run Vandal Blast, destroy target artifact you don't control, or overload it for 5 to destroy all the artifacts I don't control. Shattering Spree, 1 red to destroy target artifact or replicate it to destroy as many as I have mana for. Mizzium Mortars, 2 cost, deals 4 damage to target creature you don't control, or I can overload it for 6 to do it to all of them. Curse of the Swine, because being able to exile creatures is good. Being able to exile as many creatures as you want is better. Grape Shot, because I can get a lot of spells going, and when I get that lot of spells going, it is really, really good. Howl of the Horde, copying spells is really a theme of this deck, and this all I have to do is turn any one guy sideways, and I can copy a spell twice. Really, really nice. Devastation Tide, return all non-land permanents to the owner's hands. It's good to just be able to sometimes reset the game. And then we run Blast of Genius, 6 cost, choose target creature or player, draw 3 cards, then discard a card, and Blast of Genius deals damage equal to the discarded card's conveyed amount or cost to that creature or player. I will usually win a game with this. What I'll end up doing is casting this and copying it 3 or 4 times, so I draw a ton of cards and I discard a few cards, and they take damage equal to the mana cost of the cards I discarded. It's really, really nice. And that about wraps up my sorceries. Next up we have my instants. First one up we have Giga Drowse. 1 mana to tap a permanent, and I can replicate it for blue. Blustersquall. We have 1 mana to tap target creature you don't control, or 4 mana to tap them all. So it's like a better version of Giga Drowse. Electricity, 1 mana, deals 1 damage to target creature I don't control, or can overload it to deal 1 damage to everything. We have Reverberate to copy a spell, increasing Vengeance to copy a spell, or copy it twice if I flash it back. Cyclonic Rift because it's awesome, 2 mana to bounce a permanent, or 7 mana to bounce all permanents that I don't control. Non-land. Twin Cast to copy a spell. Comet Storm because being able to burn somebody is awesome. Being able to add a second target for 1 mana is better. And that's really why it's in here. Reiterate to copy and to buy it back if I have the mana. Wild Ricochet to copy it and to change the target. And then we have Prophetic Bolt. I like this card. 4 cost. Prophetic Bolt deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of those into your hand and put the rest in the bottom in any order. So you get to nail someone for 4, and you get to draw a card and filter through some cards. It's got a lot of value attached to it, and I really like that. Next up we have our creatures, and that's our last category. First up we have Augur of Bolas. He's a 2 mana, 1/3 human, Merfolk Wizard. When Augur of Bolas enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery card from them and put it in my hand and put the rest in the bottom of my library in any order. Similar to Prophetic Bolt, I'm going to play him. I'm going to reveal top 3 cards. Any instant or sorcery. If there's an instant or sorcery, I can put it in my hand and put the rest in the bottom. Just helps me filter for the stuff I need faster. Nin the Pain Artist, 2 mana, 1/1. X blue-red, tap her. Nin the Pain Artist deals X damage to target creature. That creature's controller draws X cards. So I've used this. I've poured in like 20 mana onto her and made someone kill their creature and draw 20 cards. I've also hit my 2/2 for 1 or my 3/3 for 2 to draw some cards with a Niv-Mizzet out and to make them take damage anyways, and my creature won't die. That's what's really cool is the sacrifice ability that you can hit your own creatures and not kill them if you don't do enough damage but still draw cards. Really, really cool. Pretty versatile. Echo Mage, 3 cost, 2/3. Level up for 2. When you level him up to level 2, he can copy a spell. When you level him up to level 4, he can copy that spell twice. Just go along with that copying. Then we have a Talrand the Sky Summoner. He's a 4 cost 2/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you can put a 2/2 Drake that with flying into play. And that's what he's there for. Start casting instants and sorceries, and you get free blockers that can even block flying. Really, really nice. Clone. It's a clone. Archaeomancer, cast him, get back any one of my instants or sorceries. Clever Impersonator, it's a clone for anything. This card is amazing. The fact that it just costs 4, so it's a similar casting cost to the regular clone, but it can copy anything. Awesome. Dack's Duplicant, another clone, 4 cost 0/0. You may have Dack's Duplicant enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it gains haste and dethrone. And dethrone is whenever this creature attacks a player with the most life total or tied for the most life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It doesn't even need to hit, it just needs to attack them, and that's pretty cool. And he comes in with haste, so it's a clone that comes in with haste. So you cast your Blightsteel Colossus, well, I'm going to cast your Blightsteel Colossus for 4 mana on my side, and it gets haste, so it kind of wins. We have Meloku, because being able to pay 1 mana to return a land to get a 2/2 blue flyer is very, very nice to be able to generate blockers at instant speed. And we have Galvanoth, 5 mana, 3/3 beast. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. I want to copy a lot of spells, so being able to cast a spell for free is very, very nice. Mnemonic Wall, another version of Archaeomancer where I can get back an instant or sorcery. Anarchist, same thing, just on a different size body. Then we have Keranos, the God of Storms. He's a 5 cost 6/5 indestructible god. He needs Devotion 7 to become a creature, otherwise he's just an enchantment, but that's fine. But he has reveal the first card you draw on each of your turns. Whenever you reveal a land card this way, draw a card. Whenever you reveal a non-land card this way, he deals. Mercurial Chemister is a 5 cost 2/3 human wizard. Pay a blue, tap him, draw 2 cards. Pay a red, tap him, discard a card, and he deals damage to target creature equal to the converted mana cost of that card. So turn your unused cards into damage. Pretty nice. Arcanis the Omnipotent. This guy is awesome. He is a 6-cost, 3/4 wizard. Can tap him to draw 3 cards or tap him to bounce him in my hand. That tap him to draw 3 cards is won me games. Just being able to get cards every single turn. Psychosis Crawler, 5-cost, star. Its power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in my hand, and whenever I draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. This is a huge, huge ability because I draw a lot of cards. So once I've drawn 20 cards with this guy out and everyone's lost 20 life, he'll do a lot more damage than most people give him credit for. Knuckleave, he's really cool. He's like a bigger, meaner version of Anarchist or one of them. He's a 6-cost, 4/4. When he enters the battlefield, I can return target red sorcery card from my graveyard to my hand, and I can return a blue instant. So a red sorcery and a blue instant, really, really nice stuff. Then we have Soul of Shandalar. I play him primarily for the combat tricks, and so I have at least some kind of an aggressive beater. But he's a 6-cost, 6/6 with first strike. And I can pay 5 to hit a creature for 3, or I can pay 5 to exile him from a graveyard to hit a creature for 3. But because he has first strike and he's attacking for 6, the second you declare a blocker against him, and I use his ability, it's as if he's hitting for 9. Because if you block with a 7/7, I'm going to hit your creature for 3 damage with his ability, and then he's going to first strike your creature for 6, so it's like he hit for 9 damage. It makes him very potent in combat. Then we have Inferno Titan, so I have another aggressive beater if I need it. 6-cost, 6/6 giant. And when he comes into play, I deal 3 damage divided how I choose. When he attacks, I deal 3 damage divided how I choose. And he can fire breathe for 1 red. Really nice. Mindwrack Liege, this guy lets me cheat my creatures into play. But he is a 6-cost, 4/4 horror. Other blue creatures get +1/+1. Other red creatures get +1/+1. And for 4 mana combined anyway, blue and red, which is fine for this deck, you may put a blue or red creature card from your hand into play. So cheating creatures into play, super nice. And then we run Deadeye Navigator. This guy is super, super good. 6-cost, 5/5. When he comes into play, I pair him up with a creature. And for 2 mana, I can blink that creature in and out. So a lot of times, I'll pair him up with my Inferno Titan and just do 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage, so on and so forth. Or I will pair him up with something like an Anarchist to keep getting back all my spells. Or something like a clone to keep on changing its target every time if I need to. Or, abuse somebody else's comes into play abilities. But that about wraps up all the creatures. That pretty much wraps up actually all the cards in the deck. Now I'm going to go over basically 2 real devastating combos. 3 real devastating combos I have in the deck. The first one is Temple Bell and Mind Over Matter. So Temple Bell, everyone draws a card. So I have a card in my hand. And then with Mind Over Matter, I can discard the card to untap a permanent. So I'll untap my Temple Bell, tap my Temple Bell again, so I'll draw another card. To reiterate, every single person will draw another card. And when that becomes powerful is when I have down Niv-Mizzet, and I'm drawing as many cards as I want, I'm going to deal as much damage as I want. And that is really, really powerful. Or if I have down Psychosis Crawler, let me get Psychosis Crawler out so I can talk about him. If I have Psychosis Crawler out, then I'm going to use that to be able to now deal as much damage, make everyone lose as much life as necessary for them to actually lose the game. So this is a super effective way to win the game. I could either make everyone draw out their libraries, or if I add in Niv-Mizzet or Psychosis Crawler, I can pretty much just win the game. And then we also have Tamio. If I get her ultimate off, so everything returns to my hand, and then Omniscience, with something like a Grape Shot, I will win the game. Because the way these two work together is if I get Tamio's emblem off, whenever I cast a spell, instead of it going to my graveyard, it goes to my hand. And whenever I have Omniscience down or Omniscience, I can cast things for free. So I'll cast Grape Shot for 1, it'll come right back to my hand. Now I'm going to cast Grape Shot, and because of its Storm, it's going to hit for 2. So now I'm going to Grape Shot for 2, return to my hand, then for 3, 4, 5, until every player in the game is dead besides me. And that makes these 3 very, very potent together, like ridiculously potent together. And then the last really crazy thing I have going on in the deck is these 2. Everybody's seen it before. If you put these 2 together, you win. You have Niv-Mizzet down, and as long as he survives again till your turn, or you can draw a card, but you get Curiosity out of him, and you tap him to draw a card, When you draw a card, he deals 1 damage. With Curiosity, when you deal a damage, you draw a card. So that's an infinite cycle until basically game over and you win and you kill everyone. But that about wraps up the Izzet deck. They're all about copying a lot of spells, throwing a lot of fire through the air, having some combat tricks, and more or less just being, you know, mad scientists. But they are led by Niv-Mizzet Draco Genius, and that is the Izzet League. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. See you later.